T-minus 5, 3, 2, 1, 0, and liftoff.
It's that time again. Here we are for another Sunday edition of the Mad Show. No, sorry, the Drone.
Drone Show
of the Foodie Network.
So, hey, who's missing?
Kev.
Where is he? Kev.
He's time traveling.
Time traveling.
He can't make it.
He's on the road.
He's on the road.
David's on the road here. Oh, well, never mind. We'll have to, do it without him. Then
we could have a guest. Why don't we have a guest?
We can have a guest. You have a guest instead. I'll tell you what. Let's just do it in the chat first and we'll get a guest. Right. Good grief. I don't know if I can read this lot. One Vision Aerial. There we go. Ashley Brown. Captain Joe. Captain Flies.
Don't forget the like button.
Don't forget the like button. Yes,
Angie. Hey, Angie.
And I've got to scroll for this. There's lots of data. Mickey Mood. The show won't be complete. Can you hear me, Mother?
Hi, Caroline.
Wait. You're not there yet.
Ahead of yourself.
Jim. We'll see Sky. What's good, everybody? Keep waving. Johnny, what are you doing?
Mr. Johnny.
Mr. Johnny. Stephen Knowles. Hi, Steve.
Hey, Steve.
Alan, how you doing? And Chuck.
Hi, Chuck.
Hang on.
Johnny again.
Yeah.
Dave.
Yep.
That's
We
Dave,
did a good video today.
Yeah.
Down the River Thames with the London Bridge.
Yeah.
Oh, that was
Alex, how you doing? Laurie.
Alex.
Right,
Alex.
wait for it. Wait.
Tell
Just
me when.
Sorry, I jumped the
Tell
gun.
us when.
No.
Want it? Are you ready?
Ready?
Sweet Caroline.
You did that without music.
Are you saying Neil Diamond sings it better than we do? Sweet Caroline.
Right, Captain
Ray.
Right, I think we've got it right. Okay, right. Enough's enough. 31 people watching, 31 likes.
Yeah,
Starting from now. And special guest time, he thinks.
Yeah.
Well, this Roll V team, I'll find it. What have I done? Here we are.
Let's welcome this week's Drone Seekers live show special guest.
I didn't hear enough of Sweet Caroline, by the way. That's a good song. Who started that? Let's just go with it.
Caroline.
I think Terry started it.
So, do you start it, Terry?
You have to start most things.
Yeah.
Look at this. It's not working. That's broken. I've broken it. I've broken everything. Anyway, Paul, welcome.
Thank you very much.
So, he's going to explain why it's called Wedge and Big.
Oh, good, because that's a big mystery.
Okay, yeah, I know a lot of people have this question. So when I was growing up, I had a game that I used to play, Final Fantasy, and there were two characters in Final Fantasy called Wedge and Biggs. And I just, when I first got on, when I first started making videos, I kind of didn't want to be out in the public. I wasn't much for being on the camera, and I wanted a pseudonym, so I went with, Wedge and Big. Put it together, and I liked the way it sounded, and I just went with it,
Well, you nearly got introduced as Paul Wedgenbig. Surname.
It works,
Till I
yeah.
found it on Twitter.
I did say to Paul, I said, you know, I said, Jack said Paul Brown. I said, Paul Brown? Who's Paul Brown?
I thought it was his Christian name.
I was going to move Paul into the middle.
Big
Because
Brown.
I think that's better.
Yeah.
Look at one side. Yeah, so have anyone's got any questions in the chat for Paul? Please do.
Carolyn has a question for him.
Yeah.
Okay, right. What's this? No, where is it? I've lost it. Oh,
Lost
You
the
keep moving us around. I got a headache.
Oh.
plot. Yeah, he's had a wedgie.
Yeah, Reggie.
oh dear.
I
Very
think
funny.
you heard that a few times.
I thought so. Wait. Yeah, okay. I got it. Yeah.
Yeah, so hi to everybody in the chat, by the way. I actually see some names out there probably showed up just to say hi to me, and I appreciate that. Buddy Will's
Cool.
out there.
So whoever lives in the chat.
No, that's good.
Yep, so we got 36 people. So was
Oh,
it?
that's going well.
I was seeing if I want.
Popular value.
Well, Johnny didn't like my singing, and you know what? Tough, Johnny.
Yeah, Johnny. Hey, we do what we like. Our show, we do what we like. we do what we like anyway.
Listen, I don't know what his problem is with that song, but I was in the back and the show was going great. And as soon as I heard Sweet Caroline, you just bumped it up like 10 notches.
There you go.
Yeah.
We got a few extra viewers anyway. This show is going to rock. You're right, Ashley. You're right. This show is going to rock.
Yeah.
Okay, right. So anyway, so we ask the same questions every time, or similar questions every time. So Paul, how long have you been flying drones, and why?
All right. So I've been flying drones for close to 2 years. And I've said it before. I wasn't really sure. I always saw drones and I thought that they were cool. And I never really flew one. And I didn't know if it was something I was going to be able to afford to get into because I know that it's an expensive hobby, you know. And, you know, I had Fingerhut give me a little bit of credit, you know, working on my credit journey. So Fingerhut gave me some credit and I used the money to buy a Contixo F24 Pro. Best and worst mistake of my life. I'll tell you why. Because one, I realized that I really had a passion for flying the drone and I wanted to get aerial footage. But the Contixo F24 Pro was not a good drone. It really wasn't. It was a dangerous drone that almost got me in some trouble. So,
Oh.
yeah, it decided it wanted to fly away on me. And I was, after a fighting with it in the air, I was able to smash it into a railing and land it without hurting anybody or anything.
Wow.
So, and that drone never went back up in the air. And I went with a Mini 2 after that. I needed something for safety. And
Something reliable.
yeah, I don't know why, but when I'm flying, it's like therapy for me. I kind of forget everything that I have going on in my life, you know, and I'm someone who deals with mental health issues and I deal with it with, you know, certain people in my family and my friends. So it's an area where I feel like not enough people have help. And for me, when I fly, it kind of takes me out to another level. I forget everything that's going on and I just kind of become the drone. You know, and
See if you're wearing goggles, eh? You're totally.
yeah, and it isn't just about wearing the goggles. When I'm flying my Mavic 3, I'm lost. Like I feel like I feel the best I can feel at any point. So it's therapeutic for me, and I really enjoy putting together the videos with it. That's where my passion really lies.
Yeah, I like editing as well.
I mean, that's the thing. I mean, when you go flying, I mean, you're filming all this footage, and you know what you really want to do is this going to be the next masterpiece? You know, I mean, Jackie spends a lot of time editing yourself. You know, Carol says this didn't fly across Las Vegas airport when it flew away.
Yeah, gee whiz, that wouldn't be good. There was a guy that happened to. His drone actually landed he lost control of. I think it was a Phantom 3,
Oh, God.
and he was flying it on the strip, and he lost connection, and it ended up landing on the Las Vegas airport.
Oh, my
Yeah, and they caught it. Well, I don't mean to get us off track here, but the guy, the FAA, they were able to track him down, and his number on the side of the drone, he transposed a couple of numbers they believe on purpose, just to throw people off. However, they did track the guy down, and he just ignored the FAA, and what turned what probably would have been a couple $1,000 fine into about a $20,000 fine.
Oh,
So, yeah,
well, dear.
anyway,
Ouch.
yeah.
Ouch.
Yeah. And honestly, I think if he had just listened and spoke with the FAA and didn't give him a hard time, he would have got nothing out of the deal.
He might have got nothing. I agree with you, Paul. He may have just said, "Yeah, well, I made a mistake," and they might have let him off. Yeah,
How long ago was it? Was this a story about 2 years ago? Was it?
a couple
Or-
years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, I seem to remember this story. But yeah, I mean that's the thing. I mean, the easiest way to deal with the law. There's 2 ways of dealing with it, and there's only one right way. If the law approach you or if the law come after you, just be as obliging.
Right.
As possible.
Just run as fast as you can.
Or you can run. But I mean, if I can run, I mean, they'll just chase me, they'd catch me. It wouldn't take long.
Yeah, well, and that was the important part.
I
When we were
am
talking
the
about
law.
when I was talking about the Contixo, I wasn't flying illegally. I was following all the regulations and rules that I'm supposed to. But I had landed the drone and I decided to put it back up in the air. And when it went back up in the air, it started to drift on its own, but it was a serious drift. So I'm fighting with the controls, trying to get it to come back to me, but it's trying to do its own thing. And it almost smashed through a big bunch of windows at this building nearby. I was able to bring it up higher, but then it started to go over the building and towards the highway. And I'm like, no, I can't have this happen because someone's going to get hurt and I would feel horrible and, responsible for it. So I was able to maneuver it and turn it where it was coming back towards me. And I just flew it right into the railing right next to me because I knew. And when I bought the new drone, my son says to me, he didn't know any better. He said, "Why don't you sell somebody that drone?" I said, "I wouldn't give this drone to anybody for free.
No,
It's going in the garbage because someone's going to get hurt with it,
Yeah.
We have a Facebook user. I'm not sure who that is, but hail anyway. And hey to you. I'm not sure who you are, but it could be someone important. But they're all important. So, do you know anyone any ideas, Jackie?
No, I haven't got Facebook
No.
up at the minute.
No. Oh, doesn't matter.
Tell us
Anyway.
who you are, Facebook user.
Yeah, Facebook user. Who are you? Reveal yourself. They will. Right. Okay. So we've got some videos to pause, and hopefully we've got them in the right order this time. You never know your luck. Okay. So this is the first one, and if I can find it, there we are. Here we go. Roll.
You ain't never seen nothing like this. Never thought it'd be so enticing. Oh, it'll pull you in with a tight grip. Shines like a diamond, bright when the light hits. Oh, shifting your senses, lifting you up to a different dimension. You see it, you feel it, it grabs your attention. Open your eyelids, you've never seen anything like this. Got your eyes open wide and you're staring. Never seen anything like this. Oh, the wonder you feel, no comparing. Never seen anything like this. Never seen anything like this. Never seen anything like this. You can feel the pull of gravitation. Yeah, you seeing something different, got you captivated. It's appealing how it's got you feeling activated. Got your thoughts going deeper than imagination. Oh, how it's real, the wonder you feel. Can keep it inside, it's hard to conceal. Oh, what a thrill, oh, what a thrill. Open your eyelids, you've never seen anything like this. Got your eyes open wide and you're staring. Never seen anything like this. Oh, the wonder you feel, no comparing. Never seen anything like this. Never seen anything like this.
good.
I love that. I love that Star Wars. Great,
Yeah.
great,
I don't know how
great
he's going to
soundtrack.
follow that one up.
Well, I just recently got the Mavic 3 Classic, and I was filming my videos with the Air 2S and the FPV. And over the winter time, I don't really like to film because all the trees are dead, and well, they're not dead, but there's no leaves on them, and there's just no color. And I said, now that I got the Mavic 3 Classic, I wanted to get out there, and I wanted my first breakout video to be something really exciting. And what better place than Ocean Drive in Rhode Island? I mean, Rhode Island is the state with the most amount of coastline in the entire U.S., and it has some of the most beautiful locations anywhere. So, for that big mansion, by the way, in the beginning, that's Jay Leno's vacation home.
Okay. It certainly was a nice, yeah. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, to find places. I mean, do you find it easy to find places to fly them, Paul, or you sort of?
Yeah, New England does not lack places of beauty. You go all the way up to Maine, the entire coastline. You can just drive the coastline and look for a spot and find something.
Yeah.
You don't have to even plan it out ahead of time. Or a good thing to do is to go and check out Google Earth. You go through Google Earth and go down the coastline and find something that looks interesting and go check it out. Of course, before you go, check your airspace because you don't want to make a trip and then realize you can't put the drone up.
Yeah. I mean, it's the same. I think it's the same in most places, Paul. I mean, the one thing you think, we go flying there. Oh no, we can't go flying there after all. Yeah. I mean, I think we've all done that before. You make that's an ideal place to go, and you suddenly realise you're too near an airport, you're too near, just a no-fly zone. Similar. I mean, you have something.
Hey, Steve. So, we may have talked about this before, but and Paul knows this. One of the things that we can do in the U.S. is, pardon me, right on our phone through the FAA Lance system, we can fly in controlled airspace. And sometimes they'll restrict our altitude or whatever.
Yeah.
But it literally takes seconds to get approval. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, ours is probably a little bit more I don't know an easy way of doing it. I mean, I found the easiest way. I wanted to fly near to an airport, But the thing is, they will say to you, right, okay, so with your exact location of flight, your start flight, your start time of your flight, the end time of your flight, your altitude, and obviously you've got to make sure you're ready to go and do it just at that perfect time. Is that the same in the US? Is it?
Or Paul, I'll let you tell them it, but we can set those parameters.
Yeah, and what you do is when you send a request, if you want to do a Lance authorization, you want to basically have a flight plan ready. How long are you going to be flying there? And make sure you have a pre-flight checklist. You want to make sure, you always want to make sure that your safety settings are right. You check your battery levels. And I'm not talking about, I said this to Jackie and she thought I was talking about just the percentage of the battery levels. I'm talking about when you go into your settings to make sure all your cells look even and there's no.
Yes. Oh, yeah, very much so.
And if you take care of your drone equipment like that and you submit an authorization request and you tell them, this is how long I'm going to be here, where I want to fly, and shouldn't have any issues, but you just want to make sure that you follow your guidelines and have a pre-flight checklist to do whatever you need to do.
So would you need to actually tell them then, the information I've just said, what the start and end time, or is it?
Yeah, when you apply for it, you put a time in there, and I could literally say, okay, from now I could put a 24-hour time in there, and they would either okay it or not for that 24-hour time. But I have never not had one approved. Have you, Paul?
No, I've never had any issues.
Yeah.
No,
it's fairly simple.
Again, it's just a case of communication. These people, if you go and do it off your own back and don't get you don't communicate, then and I think someone said that there are some areas. I mean, someone saying, I think Mickey was saying that obviously what HMS is a prison, basically.
Yeah.
And I think that is a strictly because why would you fly near a prison anyway?
Yeah, and I think it's important to also mention and not leave this out that the FAA, and I know you have a different thing in different countries, but in America, the FAA isn't there to prevent you from flying. They're not there to tell you can't fly. They want you to fly, but they want everyone to fly safe. They want the airspace to be safe. They don't want any catastrophes. So that's all. They just want to know what's up in the air and when it is, so that way the command centers locally will know what's in the air and what to avoid and what to watch out for.
Yeah, they're all working together. It's, I mean, the FAA, as you rightly say, the FAA, the CAA, none of them want to actually stop you from flying. It's just a case to make sure you do it safely. It's as simple as that, and make sure you're switched on. I mean, is it the same in Spain then, Jackie? Is it been?
I was just about to say, you try and ring Alicante or Corvera.
No chance.
Absolutely. Hey, where you want? Hey, where you want?
You just wouldn't bother with it.
Drone? No, drone.
We've got the Air Act, and if you look at that, you can see the big areas you're not allowed to fly in.
Yeah.
Pretty obvious, but you have to zoom in to see the bird protected areas. If you forget to do that, you think, oh yeah, that's all right, I can fly there, and you
I
can't.
think that's the biggest thing is the bird and the nature
Yeah.
protected areas.
I mean-
You can't fly at all in any fucking.
No, I mean that's what we're saying. There are some areas where it's always going to be a no-no. They just will not allow you to do it. I mean, we have all the national parks or I'm talking about how they call them, all the national trust park places and whatever, and they say you mustn't fly. Well, I'm sorry,
Well,
but
you mustn't take off there. I mean,
well, that's why I read it. I mean,
Yeah.
if you were to fly a drone, would they report you? I don't know, but then why would I fly on National Trust property anyway? Because most of
Yeah,
it,
you don't want to do that. Same here with national parks and national monuments. Just don't do it. That's all.
Yeah.
Just don't do it.
Sorry, Marcus.
Well, I just had a question, Steve, for you and Jackie and Terry. So in either Spain or the UK, there is no automated way that you can get flight approvals.
Not that I know of.
Yeah.
No.
I think there's an email or a telephone number, but you're not
We
going to get
had-
an instant response, are you?
Yeah.
But we had just so much trouble getting authorization to fly drones and to get our drone certificates.
Yeah, the
It took
paperwork, everything in
months.
Spain is just so slow.
I mean, do you think it's like that in the rest of Europe? Then seriously, I mean, obviously, I'm sorry,
No.
or I
No.
was going to say the EU, should I say?
Manana attitude.
Well, we went to Luxembourg and I got Luxembourg authority, and it
Yeah,
was
the
done in
training was
10
easy, wasn't it?
minutes. It was easy.
That's
Everything
the
was
same. That training is exactly the same. And that training, the
Yes.
Luxembourg training is exactly the same as doing the CAA. Is exactly the same thing. I mean,
Yeah.
I've done the same thing about 5 times. I think.
But getting the Spanish registration was just so long-winded.
Mm.
Go
That's
one
right,
office
because-
for this, one office for that, and
Yeah, and then you have to have a digital signature.
and it's got to be the right digital signature.
oh,
and you've got to go to
yeah.
a certain office for that, and it's just
Well, I went to my solicitor who wanted some work doing, and I was going to do that for him. He said, "I'll do this for you." He couldn't make head nor tail of it.
no.
He just couldn't get in.
Seriously.
And
Yeah.
A lawyer couldn't tell you what.
No,
He-
I
no,
went to what I think 3 different town halls to try and get it sorted. It was painful, Marcus. It was really.
it took us
painful.
ages, didn't it? We
Yeah.
were
But we got
on
there.
the phone to each other for hours trying to
Absolutely
sort it.
hours. And then when we did get it and got in, the window that you had to enter this thing on kept timing out, didn't it?
Yes.
I did it like 38 times, I think it was, and then I got it. And Terry was going, "It doesn't work. It doesn't work." And I'm going, "Just keep doing it. Just keep doing it." I'm going,
And then it worked.
He
And then
does-
we found out that
It
someone-
does seem a lot more complicated in Spain than it does in
Oh.
the UK. And I thought the UK was like quite sort of strict, but hey, I'm beginning to regret saying that. I think
you got it easy. You pay your €9 and you're in. Here it's free, but my God, it's not free.
No.
free
I
just takes
do
about
love-
150 weeks to sort it out.
I do love a lot of the places that Jackie gets to fly at. I love her videos. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been
you get to fly some interesting places.
Yeah, I think the secret is, Paul, is the fact that in Spain you just go to somewhere where you're so far out of the way that you don't get any sort of law enforcement there anyway, because the time you do, you just pack your drone away and run for it.
Well, when I go to Spain to fly with these two, I'm going to get all those licenses.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Marcus, I'll say one thing there, good luck.
Oh,
They will find you and they will get you.
By the time they realized he was flying, he's already back on his way to the U.S.
Exactly, yeah. That's my fault. Someone find me, I'm on my way back to the UK. Bye-bye.
But
So
we've
hard.
never
Right.
been stopped, have we? Apart from once. when we sat down to have a picnic and we were going to have a fly, but we were right in the middle of a bird protection area.
Yeah, and we
And
hadn't
that's why-
realised.
do you remember?
Yeah, but luckily someone came along and told us, didn't they?
Well, no, we had that. We had that guy coming along that time by the was it the Salt Lakes or whatever?
That's
Remember?
it.
That's the one.
We
Yeah.
put all the banner up there. No
Yeah.
flying here. Okay,
Yeah.
take the banner down. Off we go.
I love flying with the birds. When I go over the ocean and there's a bunch of birds, I love flying with them.
Yeah.
I don't know why it looks so
It
nice
looks
from
cool,
there.
doesn't it?
You know, here's what I found, and all of you can chime in on this. Those birds don't give a
No,
flip
they still
about your
are.
drone.
No.
They don't
Yeah.
care. Yeah.
We-
Well, and there's a little
Yeah,
tip.
actually.
There's
But
a
we
little
were
tip I
flying
have for it
last-
too.
Yeah, we were flying a couple of weeks ago, weren't we, Jackie, on that lake, and there was 2 eagles above us, and they didn't bother. They didn't bother
They
one
don't
bit.
care. Yeah.
No.
Well, and that's
Right.
the thing I was telling my wife because she asked me about when I fly close to birds. And I'm like, well, I'm not too close, but I'm above them. And I always fly higher than they are. And I look down towards them. And the reason for that is, the drone can, you can increase your altitude quicker than the bird
Okay.
can.
Mm.
So, I mean, you can't avoid it. If there's one coming from another direction that you don't see, things can happen. But, don't put yourself in with the birds. Look at them from
No.
above.
Mm.
And if you're worried that they're getting close, just hit that throttle and increase your altitude. They can't match your speed.
No, I mean, the bird can't go like that, can it? I mean, certainly not as quick as a drone could, anyway.
Hey, I want to add though to the statement that I just made. There's a difference between flying with birds and harassing wildlife too.
Yeah.
Oh, of
If
course,
you're-
yeah.
if you're dive bombing a bunch of birds that are down doing something, yeah, that's a bunch of garbage. But
Yeah.
but just flying, I fly where I fly is the out of the Snake River. That's part of the Birds of Prey area. And the people out there at the Birds of Prey tell me they use drones to check nests now. They used to have people rappel down and
Yes.
on those
Yeah.
cliffs and look for the eggs in the nest. They go, well, we just do it with drones now.
Yeah.
Right. Video time, I think. The next one we chose, totally at random, of course, you understand. That's why they're numbered. Is this one.
I take it the Amazon voucher's already been won.
Yeah, that was gone as soon as the video ended. Within like 10 seconds of showing that it goes.
Yeah, so
Thank
don't
you for
try
sharing
that
that
code
video.
anymore.
One of my
Don't try the
favorites.
code.
Don't try the codes, it won't work.
Yeah. And for anybody who's wondering, at the end of that, I had to add that where I was just going underneath that bridge. The drone made it safe. I made it through okay.
Oh,
But
good.
I
love
thought
that
at the end,
ending.
a little.
Yeah, left
Yeah.
us wondering there, didn't you?
Yeah.
Caroline was saying in the chat there, she said, I wonder how much of that is reverse footage. I thought, I don't know. Not telling.
Well, get away with it because the water's so calm. You
By
can't
the way,
see
my
it
beautiful
moving.
daughter is in the chat. She's saying my dad is talented. I love my daughter so much.
Yeah, this code is no longer valid.
Yeah, they go quick. So what happened was before I started doing my live shows, I was just trying to get people active in the chat, and I tried different methods on doing giveaways during my videos. But now I focus the giveaways during the live streams, and we give away custom United States Drone Society coffee mugs every Sunday. So I figured it was better use there. Now my content, when I post my feature videos, they're going to be focused on just the content and trying to get better at editing every time I make a new video.
Yeah.
Really good at editing, really good.
I think it is a learning thing, isn't it? I mean, for those, for people like myself, I sit there and I think, I don't know what to do. But Jackie finds it a lot easier because she's been doing it that long. But you take your time, Jackie. You spend a
Yeah, I
lot.
enjoy the editing. I've got in my mind when I've got my footage, because I don't go out with a plan, but when I've got my footage, I think, that'd be good if I could do that with that, and then I'll find a way to do what I want to do.
What I love,
Yeah,
Jackie, is the way you build a story. You go
Yeah.
out and fly and you do whatever, and then you build a story and put it into a video. I
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah.
But it also it includes people. It includes the group.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like to
Yeah.
have that in it.
I
Yeah,
think you're
and part of the editing process is the whole learning. A couple years ago, I didn't know how to do this.
No.
And it was a progression. But all I can recommend to you is if you really want to learn how to do things, look up tutorial videos, because I'm sure you can find a lot of it.
Yeah.
And some of it is just having fun with it. Put it in your timeline and just
try stuff.
play around with it. Just explore the different options that you have. Nothing's saved if you don't want it to be, and you can just have some fun, and you can really come up with some unique things and say, oh, you know what? Now I know how to do that. Because once you do it once, it's easy after that.
Yeah, well, as long as you use it all the time, that's the one thing. It'll take you so long in between doing it. Now, how do I do this? But some of it sinks in. But as I said before, as you say, Paul, you can go onto YouTube. What software do you use out of interest?
So I use Cyberlink Power Director, Color Director, and Photo Director, all by
Right.
Cyberlink.
Right, and that's it. So once you get to use it, you tend to stick with the software because it does everything you want it to do, doesn't it?
Yeah,
So-
no one wants to have a new learning curve to something new. If you know what you're doing with what you have in it, and it can produce the quality that you want, don't change it. If it's not broke, don't fix it. That's my thing.
Yeah.
If it isn't
That's
broke,
it.
don't fix it.
No, we were saying last week, we were talking about, I think we just touched on this. Me and Jackie both started using the
iMovie. That was our
iMovie, but the trouble is iMovie really does have its
it's
limitations.
we outgrew it pretty quick, didn't we? 'Cause we
Yeah,
only got,
so-
like, the one timeline and
Well, even I did. It says something if I had. I could probably do it on a mobile phone, but it is one of those things where you think, if only I could do this, or even a picture-in-picture. I don't know if you could do that on iMovie. Could you do that, Jackie, on iMovie?
Yeah, you could do like one layer, couldn't you? And a caption. And
Right. Okay. I just find it easier. Premiere Pro just to go into,
yeah.
and that's it.
I just use Windows Movie Maker.
Mm.
What's funny? If it wasn't for editing videos, I might not have never gotten into FPV. It was editing videos which got me into wanting to fly FPV.
Yeah.
So when I started to make the videos and I was listening to the music, because when you watch my videos, you realize that they're all around sound design. I call it dancing in the sky. I was talking a little bit to Jackie about it, but I like to put the music to the video footage, so it's like a dance in the sky. And when I was editing videos before I got the FPV, I would hear the music and I'd say, wow, this would be a really cool, interesting shot to put with that part of the music.
Yeah,
But
like
the drone,
hear
the
like
GPS drone didn't have the capability to produce that kind of
Right.
capture. So I started to look into the DJI FPV
To
because
get
it had just
faster
recently
bits.
come out. And I'm like, wow, because I wanted safety. I didn't just want to do a custom quad that was going to end up in the ocean. I wanted something with some safety features.
Yeah.
And the FPV kind of came out right as I was starting to get into the drone scene. So, you know, that really piqued my interest and I went with it. And it was probably the best thing I did because I feel like I have a lot of creative freedom when it comes to my content.
Yeah. So is that the only FPV drone you fly then? It's just
That's
a
it.
digital FPV.
Yep.
Yeah. It's a good drone.
Yeah.
But Terry still flies. You still fly yours, Terry?
Which the FPV?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I love it. I really do.
Yeah.
And the Avatar, I like that as well. But I put new props on the Avatar because of Jackie.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm waiting to hear your news.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes, yeah, Jackie has the news. Yes.
Yeah, I got an email from DJI. They've done their tests or whatever, and they've decided it wasn't my fault. So all the damage that was caused by the propeller exploding in the air, they're fixing. So they've got a new roll cage. They've given a new RF board or something. I don't know, but
I'd have thought they'd give you a new one.
no, they're just repairing the damaged bits. So.
That's what I thought they may have done.
Yeah.
No, you can't replace Puggles. It wouldn't be Puggles, would it?
Not Gerard.
Yeah,
Could it be Puggles too?
Yeah.
But anyway, so they're doing it all free of charge, and he's
Excellent.
should be arriving back to me Wednesday morning. So
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, that's good news. That's good
What,
news.
what I've noticed about DJI is they always err on being more than fair. You hear Jackie,
I can't
your
fault
kind
them.
of stories,
I mean,
you hear them all the
they
time.
approached me. I
Yeah,
didn't approach them. They approached me.
Yeah, and that's actually something I was just going to say. I know a lot of people have issues with DJI. I think their logistics department, whatever that is horrible. When you make an order and it runs into hiccups and you can't find your shipment where it is, I think that's where DJI needs some serious help. But when it comes to DJI customer support, I think that they go above and beyond. Like you said, they have people on social media. Someone posts an issue and they'll say, "Hi, this is so and so from DJI. Can you give me a case number and I'll look into it for you?" Like, what other company does that? Like,
Yeah, no, that's right. It's really
Well,
good.
the thing is, I mean, they've got a reputation, and they've got a reputation to keep. You know, if they want to keep their customers, I mean, let's face it. You know, how much money does that company actually make? You know, they produce thousands upon thousands of drones.
Steve, just off of me alone, I can tell you a pretty fair amount.
Anyway, so Paul also, you love your photography, Paul. Just not just do videos, and you put your videos, photographs on Flickr. Yep.
well, I actually just recently found Flickr and I put all my stuff there just to kind of see what kind of response we get on there. So it was more of a backup thing, but yeah, I post all my photos that I posted to like my Facebook on Flickr as a just a backup method, and I could share from there at some point too.
Yeah. We chose a sample of I think of 5 photographs that we thought would show from that. I mean, I'm trying to work out how to do this. So obviously the screen, you're not going to be able to see us, but you'll be able to hear us. So it won't mute the audio. But so I hope this is going to work, because if he doesn't, unlucky. Right. Okay. So this is picture now. I mean, so you can talk about these, Paul, if you wish. And just say next one, because obviously you can sort of talk about each one's got a little story, no doubt. So there we are. The first one.
Okay, so this is in Mattapoisett. This is Ned's Point Lighthouse, and when I go out and I take my photography, which for one I never thought that I was going to be a photographer, but it's something that I found that I'm really getting a love for, and I decided I wanted to shoot this image in a way that I haven't seen it before, and I thought that getting the sun in the light was great and the shadows. And so this was a 5-shot merged AEB. I do bracketed photos because I like the dynamic range, and I edit it to my taste, and I love how it works with the shadows. The lighting is really nice. I actually have an interesting fact about this photo. I posted this photo to social media, and I had an energy company in Mattapoisett reach out to me and actually buy this photo off of me.
Oh wow.
Do you use any filters on that, by the way, Paul, or not?
No, I don't use filters when I'm taking photography because I don't need to slow down the shutter for anything. The filters would be more for video where you're trying to get, the
change the shutter speed and the ISO and whatever.
Yeah, exactly. For pictures, you don't really need it. And the Mavic 3 has I think 12.8 stops of dynamic range.
Right.
So you can, take a bracketed photo, you can get some good detail with some intense amount of light in the lens.
I love the way you got that sun shining through the middle of that. I really love that. Yeah. Right, so moving on to the next picture.
Okay, so what I really loved about this picture, this is in Fort Tabor, which is in New Bedford, Massachusetts, the city that I live in. And this is an old building, an old barracks that's actually no longer active. You can't go in there if they have it all locked down. But as you see, all the greenery grows on the top, and this is like a lighthouse. So I tried to do the same thing with the light through the lighthouse.
Glass,
what I really enjoyed about this photo was the way the look of the old wood came out. You get the real detail in there,
Yep. Okay. Right. What we gone on? Oh, this looks interesting. This one.
Okay, so this is the Biltmore Hotel, which is in Providence, Rhode Island. Again, when I go out and take pictures, I kind of want to take pictures that no one else has. I try to get it from a different perspective. So I decided to get the sky looked really nice. As you can see, the clouds are out. You get the nice sun rays. And I just wanted to get right up and get a good shot of the Biltmore sign. And I was very happy with the result of this photo.
What is that building, the tall building by the side of it, Paul? That looks very interesting.
I have no idea what that building is. But right behind the Biltmore is some other big buildings. But I just like the way the Biltmore sign looked, and I was just trying. I was just experimenting. That's all I was doing, and this is the end result of trying something.
Those cloud formations look sort of pretty moody, don't they? They're really sort of like
Yeah.
Okay, right. Picture number 4.
So these are actually, the Biltmore is out in the distance. You can't really see it here, but the big building that you were talking about is almost look straight up the center of the shot. That big building in the back.
Yep.
That's that same building. But again, I wanted a different perspective, and this is the walkway that leads to what's called the pedestrian bridge, which is right going across the water there.
Oh, I see. Yep.
So I just wanted a different perspective because everybody wants to take their drone and put it 200, 300, 400 feet in the air and take a photo, and I kind of want to see things from a perspective of kind of somewhere in the middle ground, right above your head, but where it's low, looking straight out. And I was happy with the shot.
So was that actually taken with a drone in, Paul, or not?
I'm sorry, say that again.
Is that picture actually taken with a drone, or?
Yeah, this was taken with my Mavic 3 Classic. Yep.
Yeah, I'm trying to work out how high it actually was. I think just hold it up in the air. Okay. Right, what's this one? Here we go.
Okay, so this is in Gloucester, Massachusetts. I was out in Gloucester checking out the Eastern Point Lighthouse. And on the way back, there was this beach, and I wanted to stop and capture this. Now, I don't usually like trees without the leaves on them, but for some reason, this tree and this wall really stuck out. So I just wanted to go, and I like I said, again, I put the drone low. I'm only about 3 to 4 feet off of the ground, and I'm looking out, and I just like the composure of the shot. You get some nice detail of the rocks, the wetness from them. It was cloudy out that day, so it gave it a feeling of like it looks like a painting, and that's the way I edit it when the weather is like that, to make it look like a painting. And it just, I don't know, it's appealing to my eye. I don't edit it for anyone else but for the way I like it to look.
Right, so can I have a sample of Paul? So if you want to actually check out Flickr, there we are, it's Paul Brown. There's lots and lots of photographs on there. Far too many. You can see a couple of them shown on there. But obviously, you want to check that out after the show. Click on that, and you can check out. There's how many photographs you got on there, Paul? Oh, was it 90? Oh, 58 photographs.
Yeah, and all the same photos. I have more photos on my Facebook that you can find also if you want. And I just want to say thank you to everybody in the chat. I'm seeing everybody saying great pictures and all that. I see that, so thank you so much.
Yeah, good. Yeah, I can't see the chat, Ronnie. I'm clicking buttons elsewhere, but okay, right. So there we are. Right, so that's a good, nice little sample of picture. Sorry, Marcus.
Well, I was just going to ask Paul. So you are part 107.
No, I'm not part 107.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Just curious.
You're probably referencing that because I mentioned that I sold that photo to the energy company, right?
I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything.
Okay, because a lot of people are misunderstood about it, so maybe that would be a good way to give a little information out there. The intention of the flight when I took that photo was recreation. I was out taking the photo just to edit it and make it look nice. The energy company reached out to me, and in that aspect, it's the intent of the flight. The flight was recreational. I didn't take a picture to sell it. They reached out, so I could sell it without a Part 107.
Cool.
I do like your other comment as well, Paul. I edit for me.
Yeah.
Not for what other people want. Other people's comments, they all come in, but it's for me. It's what I like.
Listen, I'm going to push back just a little bit. So everything I do on my channel, honestly, is for my own enjoyment. In other words, I wouldn't do it if I didn't enjoy it. But I suspect that the FAA might have a problem with me if I didn't have my Part 107. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, are you referring to the fact that obviously with your videos on YouTube, Marcus, or
exactly
monetized?
Yeah. They're gonna say, well, anyway. But enough of that. Let's get off that subject. Let's move on.
Get off of it.
There's some really nice sort of comments on there for the chat for them.
At the end of the day, Paul, you are a true artist.
I appreciate that.
Very much so.
Are looking amazing.
I mean, that's one thing I don't think I do is actually when I'm flying my drone. Some people do. I mean, take photographs, and of course, why not? Because after all, it's a still camera and video. It's a camera.
Hey, so Carolyn has a comment here that I think is interesting. So she likes the subject, but not a fan of HDR. And I'm just the opposite. I so love the fact that we can do those bracketed photos now and get that.
Adds a bit of drama, doesn't it?
Yeah. With HDR pictures, doesn't it give you sort of greater darknesses and?
Yeah, HDR is just a good way to spread out the lighting. Let's say you go out and you're shooting into sunlight, and a lot of times if you're not in some sort of HDR mode, the sun and the sky will be really bright, but everything in the foreground is really dark because you don't have that dynamic range there. And with HDR photos, bracketed photos, it allows you to kind of even out that light so everything has proper exposure, or you can edit it to try and expose it properly. Yeah. But that's the fun part about HDR photos. This is what I'm new to photography, really. I started to dab in it a little bit with my Air 2S, but I've really gotten into it with the Mavic 3. And the feeling of when you go out, because you go out and you take, 20 pictures, 30 pictures, and you get home and you edit them, and before you know it, you only have 2 or 3 that are worth keeping in your mind.
Yeah.
Like, wow, there's only 2 or 3 keepers. But it's when you go out and you take that shot and you get it home and you edit it, the excitement of seeing, oh my God, I really got a good photo here. That's what keeps me going.
The big thing that you do, Paul, is your composure is perfect, right? And so it's not just that it's an HDR photo. When you compose a shot, you're putting a lot of thought into it, and it's really cool. The other thing I want to add is that because you mentioned that you really got into it with your Mavic 3. Hey, I want people to know that the Mini 2 will shoot auto exposure bracketing, and you can do it with, you don't need
the Mini 2 has a 3-shot bracketed photo.
Bracketed, right?
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, Paul said that his son Benjamin flies Mini 2, and what great age to actually start flying a drone. I just wish.
I gave my grandson my Mini 2.
You did, yeah.
And he loves it. He flies it beautifully. He really does.
I bet you never believed that was the first time we flew when we were up in Yorkshire, Terry.
Yes. And everyone said, wow, how long has he been flying? First flight. He was...
you know what I'm going to say as an American, Steve and Terry. You're up in Yorkshire. How was the pudding?
Oh,
really?
Not bad.
Have you tried Yorkshire pudding? Have you tried Don't Know It?
I don't even know what the hell it is.
Oh,
We'll make
Whenever we used to have a buffet at the Works Do or whatever.
I'll tell you, if we come up, we definitely come over to Florida next day. If we come to Florida, we'll make you some Yorkshire puddings and say, look, go into in the kitchen. We use the oven. We'll make you Yorkshire pudding. Make you a toad and a hole about that.
Yeah, but we do
All
need
right, I have to make an
self-raising
observation.
flour.
I
No,
have to
not
make an
self.
observation here.
You
I was
know,
talking-
sorry, Paul.
Oh, go ahead. I was talking to Jackie the other day, and I said, "You know who Steve reminds me of? If anyone here has seen the movie Hot Fuzz,
Yep.
Yeah,
he remind me of the farmer with the guns. He has to bring the guy to talk because he can't understand him
What do you
sometimes."
say?
And Jackie, wait, you're not free from this either. Because listen, you know who I reminded of when you talked to me?
Uh-oh. No.
Wallace and Gromit.
Wallace and Gromit.
What, the dog or the fella?
I asked that as well.
Not the people specifically, but the way that they talk and the mannerisms and the way they speak. You're reminiscent of that to me. I see that. Like you got a nice big smile, and I don't know why. You remind me of Wallace and Gromit, and not Wallace and Gromit specifically, but just that type of claymation characters that they do on that. So yeah,
It's just the way us Brits are, I'm afraid.
I'm keeping my mouth shut then.
You can really quiet. Actually, I think we should.
Oh yes, of
There
course,
is
yes.
nobody
Sorry.
better at making fun of Americans than Terry. He has
No,
got it down pat.
I don't make fun. No.
Oh, I love it, Terry. That was not.
Oh,
I love it.
Oh,
Don't tell them that.
Come on.
I would hate to upset anybody.
No, I think it's great.
Well, tell you what, instead of upsetting someone, make someone laugh. Here we go.
And now it's time for Terry's Joke of the Week.
Now, I'm going to have to apologise for this one because someone might think it's a bit close to the mark. But anyway, here we go. How to shower like a woman. Take off clothes and place them sectioned in the laundry basket according to lights and dark. Walk to the bathroom wearing a long dressing gown. If you see your husband along the way, cover up any exposed area. Look at your womanly physique in the mirror. Make a mental note to do more sit-ups, leg lifts, etc., etc. Get into the shower. Use face cloth, arm cloth, leg cloth, long loofah, wide loofah, pumice stone. Wash your hair once with a cucumber and sage shampoo with 43 added vitamins. Wash your hair again to make sure it's clean. Condition your hair with grapefruit and conditioner enhanced. Wash your face with crushed apricot facial scrub for 10 minutes until red. Wash entire rest of body with ginger nut and Jaffa cake body wash. Rinse conditioner off hair, shave arms and legs. Turn off shower. Squeegee off all wet surfaces in the shower. Spray mold spots with tile cleaner. Get out of the shower. Dry with a towel the size of a small country. Wrap hair in a super absorbent towel. Return to the bedroom wearing long dressing gown. Towel on head. And if you see partner along the way, cover up any exposed areas. How to shower like a man. Take clothes off while sitting on the edge of the bed and leave them in a pile. Walk naked to the bathroom. If you see your partner along the way, shake Willie at her, making a woo woo. Look at your manly physique in the mirror. Admire the size of your Willie and scratch your bum. Tenderly stroke your belly. Get in the shower. Wash your face. Wash your armpits. Blow your nose in your hands and let the water rinse them off.
Gross.
Oh dear. Fart and laugh. How loud it sounds above the shower. Spend majority of time washing private and surrounding areas. Wash your bum. Leave those coarse bum hairs back on the soap or stuck on the soap. Wash your hair. Make a shampoo Mohican. Rinse off and get out of the shower. Partially dry off while seductively stroking your belly. Fail to notice water on floor because curtain was hanging out of the bath the whole time. My Willie size in the mirror again. Leave the shower curtain open, wet mat on the floor, light and fan on. Return to the bedroom with towel round waist. If your partner pulls off towel, if you pass your partner, sorry, pull off the towel, shake your willy at her, and make the woo woo sound again. Throw the towel on the bed, and that's it.
And if she makes any complaints, pull a Seinfeld and tell her, "But I was in the pool."
Terry's joke of the week.
I couldn't resist that one. I really couldn't. It was so funny when I read it.
You've had mine,
One
Jackie.
thing though,
Pardon?
you forgot one thing for the fellas though. They
What?
take the toothbrush in there with them as well.
In where?
Oh,
In the
you
shower?
Yeah.
Ah,
Who the hell does a bloody toothbrush in the shower?
No, they
You've
do
never
the
been in
teeth
the
shower,
army.
didn't they?
No. That was good.
oh dear, I got tears coming.
Caroline said, I had some lovely grouse on Thursday.
Random.
I'm sure. Oh, well,
Oh, dear.
but Yorkshire pudding is made like a pancake batter. Correct. With plain
Really,
flour,
right?
Terry.
That really
You must use your plain
I
flour.
love your daughter's comment there, Paul. I love how he's laughing at his own joke. Yeah, I couldn't help it. Sorry, Ashley. Oh dear.
Oh, dear. Right. So after that bit of excitement, what should we do now? Let's watch
I'm
another
actually-
video.
And I'm actually not laughing at my own joke, okay? I'm laughing because if anyone is seeing Seinfeld, you can see George throwing his hands up and he's yelling, "I was in the pool!"
No, as she said, no, it was great. There we are.
Oh, thank you very much.
Right, okay. What we got here? This is a nice short video, this one. We've got plenty of time, so we're doing good.
Video
Well-
coming soon.
Yeah,
I do like
Yeah,
your
that
choice
was-
of music. That music's lovely.
so dramatic. That one, wasn't it?
Very
real,
dramatic.
real
yeah.
dramatic stuff going on there.
Yeah, that's my content. I spend a lot of time picking out the music for my videos, and that's where I focus. I already know which song I'm going to use before I film, and it drives my wife nuts because we'll be in the car going somewhere to fly the drone, and I'll be listening to a song on repeat that I'm going to play in a future video, but I'm trying to get. But the reason for that is I'm trying to hear the song and kind of figure out what I want to do with certain shots. So when I go out to film, because sometimes we drive, 2 hours to a location, and I don't want to get out there and be like, okay, how am I going to shoot this? I want to have ideas in my head before I get there.
Yeah.
A good part of that is to have the music in my mind while I'm flying.
Just the opposite of what Jackie does.
Yep. I just fly,
Yeah.
see what
I-
happens, come home, and then think, what should we do with this jigsaw puzzle?
When you cut it all up into little snippets, just mix it all up.
Yeah.
And boom.
And then
there we
I'll
come.
see what I've got, and then I just listen to tunes on
Mm.
YouTube. And then when I find one that I can, as I'm listening to it, I can see my clips going in on it. That's the one to use.
Yeah.
Paul,
You
isn't
do
that
it. You
curiosity?
do get it.
Oh.
The sync that you do is perfect.
Yeah, because I lay the music in the video timeline first,
Yes.
and I put a color bar all the way along, and then I chop it up where the beats change, and then I color in the music's like dark for fast bits, light for slow bits, and then I know how my clips are going to drop in.
Yeah.
Wow.
Get me in the right order. That's just how I've
And
done it.
let's not forget, Jackie, you are the queen of special effects too.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, I don't know about
you do the
that.
special effects really good.
Mm.
That's the graphic artist in you coming out.
Yeah, because I don't do that the right way. I use Photoshop, and that's not really the right.
Where do you get your music from, Paul?
I actually use Epidemic Sound, and now I also have audio.
Yeah, I find Epidemic to me. I mean, I use it and I love it because there's such a wide. I mean, there's such a wide range of music on there.
Yeah, and
there's something for everyone.
Yeah, a lot of people might not know about it. If you're looking for music for your videos and you don't want to pay for a service like Epidemic or Audio or any of them services where you pay, if you go to your YouTube studio, they actually have a music section with tons of tracks.
That's what we use. That's what we use.
Yes. And a lot of people don't make it too obvious. So I'm sure there's people out there who might not know, but that's another avenue you can have for music. I just needed a wide range of it because I do on my live show, I do a feature of the group's content that people share. I do a feature called Sunday Spectacular and Best of the Rest. And I need 2 new songs every week to work with that. So I need a good selection of music to choose from.
Yeah, we should put a link to Paul's.
I was saying, do a shout out for your show, Paul, which is on when is your show?
Okay, so I run the group, the United States Drone Society. It's not just for people in the United States, but it's connecting people across America with people in the drone community all over the world. You're free to share your content there, and we do a live show every week. It's on my channel. I shared the link to my channel there in the chat. You're gonna have to copy and paste, or unless someone wants to share it for me, because they can't click on it because I'm just a regular. I'm gray. But yeah, we do a live show every Sunday at 8:00 Eastern time, and the show is an hour, just like this one. And we, just share group content with some features, and we have an open chat panel. We do special guests, and occasionally I do a one-on-one interview. It's a special event that I do with someone in the community who I think we could gain information from, and it's a big process. But and also all the videos you saw of mine tonight on here, if you want to see them, and they're all available in 4K quality on my channel. You can find them all there too.
Actually, there's not enough time. As we often find out here, I mean, we're over our hour already. So, Paul, thanks ever so much for joining us. And we hope that everyone sort of learns something from each individual person. I think that's what makes it worthwhile having guests on this show. And so we'd like to say thank you very much for joining us. And Jackie's put a link on there.
I found a link. I don't know if it's to just one of Paul's shows, but it might not be his channel. It's just one of his shows, but it'll get in the right direction.
Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate you sharing that. Yeah, thanks for having me on the show.
Yep, thanks, Paul. And
what a great guest! What an absolutely great guest!
Can I say one more thing before I go?
Of course you can, Paul.
No.
Yes.
I would like to stress to people the importance of mental health. If you have trouble that you're going through, don't do it alone. Reach out to somebody. I know here in the United States, you can dial 988 and find help. I don't know what they might have in other countries, but just reach out. Don't do it alone. There's always someone out there who's willing to listen and willing to help you out. Don't do
Or
it.
go and buy a drone.
Yeah. I totally agree with you there, Paul.
Yeah,
get on
indeed.
your bike, do something, chat to someone. Absolutely,
Reach out.
Yeah.
Sometimes the problem is a problem shared is a problem halved, as they say.
Yeah.
And thanks very much for joining us, everyone. And we'll hopefully see you all again in the chat next Sunday.
Very soon.
All again. And thanks very much for watching. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.